Hey, it's me, MLB. Here is Torn Down the Middle, Chapter 30, and this one is titled Test of Courage, Part 2. Extra title, Duel. Suddenly there was a loud bang, and an explosion detonated from nearby. Shoto knew who it was immediately and spun you around behind him before holding his arm out to block the oncoming threat. He's here, Shoto called. Go now, Yin. You ran from behind him, aiming for a tree nearby so you could watch the fight and intervene if need be. Get your hands off it, bastard! Bakugou hollered as he hurled through the air, propelled by his explosion. I clearly do not have my hands currently on her, Bakugou. Shoto replied coolly as he raised his right arm and shot up a wall of ice between him and the mid-air Bakugou. Bakugou's eyes widened as he realised he was about to slam headfirst into Shoto's ice wall, but at the last minute he threw his right arm out to the side and blasted a shot, changing his course instantly and aiming himself at a tree. He tucked his feet under himself, and as he connected with the tree trunk, he launched from it and around the ice wall towards Shoto. Die! He screamed, his white ghost outfit flapping furiously as he flew towards his opponent. Shoto raised his left arm out to the side and activated his fire quirk, flames bursting from his being, almost blindingly bright, showing Bakugou exactly where he was as the explosive blonde hurled towards him. Die! Bakugou screamed again as he approached. His right arm reared back, ready to throw a hard right hook once he got close enough, but at the last moment Shoto deactivated his quirk and jumped away, leaving Bakugou temporarily blinded by the sudden loss of light and unable to locate his target. Shoto had already calculated where Bakugou would be at that point when he jumped away, and as the dual-haired hero landed he stomped his right foot and shot a shard of ice in Bakugou's direction, just grazing Bakugou on the back as he flew past, ripping the ghost costume and setting the blonde careering off course. You gasped as you heard the sickening thud of Bakugou hit the ground heavily, followed by a gasp and heavy coughing. "Shoto, wait!" you called out, springing from behind the tree and running towards where you could still just make out Shoto's form. "Stop! Please stop!" you begged, grabbing onto Shoto's shirt as you reached him. "I'm sorry, Yin," Shoto said softly upon hearing the distress in your voice. "Who says we're done here? Friggin' half and half." Bakugou's gasping voice growled from the darkness. "You don't know when to quit, Bakugou," Shoto replied darkly. "Clearly, you are no match for me." That reply angered Bakugou, and as he released a throaty roar, releasing small explosions from the palm of his hands, he staggered to his feet. "Bro! Bakugou! Wait, hold on!" Kirishima's voice pierced the darkness. "Oh, thank God," you breathed. Kirishima seemed to be the only person that Bakugou would listen to, and the adorable redhead was the voice of reason a lot of the time. "Is everything okay?" you heard Mina call as she ran towards you. "Yes, we're fine now," you called back, still in Shoto's embrace, as you heard Kirishima talking Bakugou down from a second duel. "What happened?" Mina asked as she jogged up to you. Prickle got his all-white knickers in a knot and needed to get them ironed out by Shoto, you stated calmly to Mina. "Ah," she replied, nodding knowingly. You know what kind of underwear?" Shoto stammered with a heavy blush that went unseen in the darkness. I did not know you already had that type of relationship with Bakugou, Yin." "Huh? Oh, no. Oh, no. Not like that. It's a figure of speech. We've never, you blabbered, gripping harder onto his shirt and shaking the material. "And I've never ironed Bakugou's undergarments before either," Shoto stated seriously. "Shut up, you icy hot bastard!" Bakugou screamed from nearby. After Kirishima had diffused the situation, all four of the rest of the Courage attendees headed to the finish line, leaving Bakugou to scare the rest of the students coming through. You'd been impressed with Shoto's calm and intelligent fighting style, and you couldn't get over how clever he'd been to use his fire as a blinding tool instead of an attack strategy. During the fight, he hadn't said anything except for at the beginning and the end, and had let Bakugou spiral out of control with his own rage, basically letting him self-destruct. But then your mind would keep replaying the sound of Bakugou hitting the ground, and your heart would sink a little. Ugh, that must have hurt like a mother drugger, hitting the ground so heavily. Not to mention the feeling of losing to someone you consider a fierce rival. I kind of feel sorry for Katsuki's ego right now. Bakugou was fuming with humiliation, and he was aching from the fight. When Shoto had sent the ice shard towards him, a jagged edge had grazed his back, ripping the back of his costume and shirt open. His back stung, and he could feel blood running down his torso, which only seemed to fuel his anger. His arm ached slightly too, where he'd only just managed to raise it up to break his fall. He sighed forcefully. All he could hear in his mind was your pleading for Shoto to stop. She thinks I'm pathetic. Later on, you collected your things together for the hot tub and joined Mina and Jiro as they headed to the bathhouse. The owner was waiting for everyone to assemble before giving a little rundown of how the rules worked. This bathhouse is many centuries old, he started by saying, giving a brief history on the original owner and some interesting facts about how and why it was built. Bakugou scowled and glanced at you. His eyes travelled your body, taking in your curves as he stood behind and slightly to the side of you. He was so distracted that he didn't hear the part where the owner explained the signs. Instead of a male and female sign above the hot springs pool, there was a dragonfly and a bee sign. Neither of these related to male or female. They'd been put there because one pool seemed to attract more dragonflies around it, and the other one seemed to attract more bees to the plants around it. The bee side was now known as the female-only hot springs pool, and the dragonfly side was now the male-only hot springs pool. And there ends chapter 30. Stay tuned for chapter 31 coming tomorrow.